I just did a 30-day lemon challenge where we paint lemons every single day within the hour. And a couple of these paintings I kind of liked. They kind of turned out okay. And this is one of them. So I'm going to get in there and finish it today. Before I get started, please click the subscribe button and that like if you do like what I do here. It really helps push my channel forward and get the algorithm to take notice of me. And I so want to be loved by the algorithm. All right, you guys, don't mind my goofy self. I know, I am a goofball. Can't help myself. So this is as far as I got on this painting challenge. It was these 3 lemons. This was the last day of the painting challenge. And I got this far, far enough. And it's fine within an hour, not too bad. I kind of liked it. And what I was attracted to with these 3 lemons was the shapes of the lemons were interesting to me, that they weren't these just all roundish lemons that perfectly lined up together, and they played an interesting kind of little composition between the lemons. I particularly like the lemon on the far right being a cooler and lemon yellow color, when the other ones were leaning more towards the burnt sienna orange, or a deeper yellow kind of color. So I was interested in that play, and I interested to see how I could pull in the background with the foreground and somehow pull that into the lemons as well, and just pull it all together, but also to not overly paint them, to remain somewhat loose, to allow some brushstrokes to just be as they are, to not go in and fiddle with them. In fact, one of my next challenges will be on brushwork, meaning that when there's a saying, a brushstroke laid is a brushstroke stayed. So if you lay down a brushstroke, don't touch it. And I've done a little bit of that, but not enough. I could, that would be a good challenge for me after these years of learning how to paint, to just get a better control over my brushwork and how I use my brushes and how I move throughout my painting. And if you can lay that brushstroke down and let it be, I think a lot more interesting things can happen in your painting. But that's for another challenge. Here in this 30-day painting challenge, I was quite surprised to find some interesting lessons. One of them being with analogous colors and trying to put that together in a successful way by using very limited 3 to 4. In one of the paintings, I did 5 analogous colors, and so I found it interesting. I learned a lot from that because I had never actually done analogous colors. And, you know, I've done a lot of complementary color work, which is pretty similar to what I'm doing here. You can see in the foreground, I lightened it up a little bit, but I also moved it a little bit more towards the purple, just because they work so well together. And I thought that I would lighten the background, and then no, it did not work. I didn't like it at all, so I went right back in and and darkened it. I was using raw umber and blue and adding the Terra Vert green. And I thought that a cool green background, or with just a feeling of that cool green in the background, would really pull it together nicely. And I liked also the darker background because, of course, it makes the lemon stand out more. And I'm partial to contrast. I like high contrast in still lifes, especially. It's not needed so much in a landscape painting, but for me, I really do love the contrast. So I got pretty much done with the second layer, and really there's not much left to do. Maybe a little tweak here and there on the edges. Maybe. I don't think I'm gonna touch it anymore. I kind of like it the way it is. So I can't really tell now because, as you can see, the sun has gone down and it is dark and I'm in artificial light. So when I take a look at it in the daylight tomorrow, I'll know what works and what doesn't, and if it works, and if I'm going to continue with it or leave it as is. One of the really cool things that I learned on this lemon painting challenge was to let myself relax a little bit, be a little bit more spontaneous, and not try and control every single brushstroke, every single glob of paint that I lay on the canvas. And so I've taken some of that into this painting as I'm working on these lemons, and remembering the beautiful lessons that I learned in these past 30 days. Don't forget to click the subscribe button and that little notification bell so that you know when I have a video up and out. And if you liked what I did here, I really appreciate it if you click that little like button so that the algorithm can begin to pick me up a little bit more and push this channel forward. Thanks so much for spending this time with me. Be inspired, be creative, be you.